am
you're on.
so glad you're here, Alchemist. We're here at Alchemist Nation. We are at the 52 Weeks of Wealth. This is amazing. Look, if you want to make six-digit figures or more, you got to be here every week. We go over 52. That's 52. That's kind of like a yearly thing, right? 52 weeks of wealth. Every week is a different principle done by no other than Walter Amarillo, our fearless leader, who has done all the work and now gives it to us in a condensed form so we can go out there and kick. Can I say ass? I don't know. Can I? Well, it would be bleeped if I can't. All right. But here he is, none other than the man himself, the myth, the legend, Walter Amarillo. Give him a big hand.
Welcome back to the 52 Weeks of Wealth. We've been on this journey for the last 52 weeks. Hands to the camera if you're ready to make more money this year and do less work. Awesome. So we got the right people in the room. Give yourselves a round of applause. The reason the 52 Weeks to Wealth started was because at some point I was obsessed with making money, and I was so tired of not being able to have the things that I want, not be the man that I wanted to be, not be able to take time off whenever I wanted with whoever I wanted, however I wanted. Hands to the camera if you're committed to your financial freedom, if that seems very important to you as well. Excellent, excellent. So one of the strategies to get there is to follow the rules. See, something a billionaire once told me is that the rules are the rules because they are the rules. Stop trying to be smarter than the system. Stop trying to think the government is against you. Stop trying to think that all the rich people don't want you to succeed. The truth is, rich people are lazy. We would love you to succeed because it means you can take our money and put it to work for us. That's what we call passive income. When somebody else is doing the work and your money is working harder than you are. Hands to the camera if you're committed to building passive income for yourself. You'd love some of that. Maybe that $10,000 a month is a nice starting point. Well, in order to get there, it does take having some money, which is why we put the mission together of 100 millionaires. The mission is 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. Wealth Principle 52, we finally made it. Right? Many of you have been traveling with us for 1 year, 2 year, or in 3 years. Hands to the camera if you've been with us since the beginning. 3 years, rocking and rolling, hanging out with the 52 Weeks of Wealth, the millionaires all the way across. So let's give our OGs a big round of applause. There are hundreds of people who've been on this call, but only a handful have been on as long as you have. And also, we've got an additional strategy that we're going to use to increase your income faster this year. In 2023, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little more unique. But before we talk about that, let me dive into Wealth Principle 52, Sharpen the Saw. This principle came to us from one of the books written by Stephen Covey. Wealth Principle 52, Sharpen the Saw. Who here has heard the story of the man chopping down the tree and the old man chopping down the tree? Has anybody heard that story already? For now, I want to talk about you and your success this year. You've been through 51 principles. You've learned wealth stacking. You've learned how to think like a millionaire, how to think that $1 million business, how to choose that $1 million business. You've learned that the point in a business is not just for cash flow. It's to build the business, to sell the business and get rich. Most of the billionaires on the planet have actually sold majority portions of their business. And yet with 10%, 20%, 7%, 17%, they're still multi-billionaires. Hands to the camera if you recognize you can't keep it all, but if you sell enough to the right people, you can have more. It goes against the law that most people believe is real, which is scarcity. Most people think that there's not enough money in this world, but the truth is there's actually an abundance. They keep printing more. And I just found out from Vinny Chopra that there's $36 trillion locked up in 401ks, locked up in retirement plans. $36 trillion is more money than you can even fathom. You don't understand. I'm telling you now, you don't understand it because you don't even know what $1 million is. And imagine $1 billion is 1,000 times what a million is. So $1 trillion is 1,000 times more than a billion. Who here has never held $1 billion in their hands? Just want to confirm. I want to confirm that you don't know what it looks like. Excellent. This behind me is a representation of $1 million. This little stack here is just a representation of $1 million. That's all it takes. $1 billion is 1,000 times bigger. That wouldn't even fit in my house. This 3,000 square foot house, it would not fit here. Hands to camera if you recognize $1 trillion is a lot more. Yeah, they don't even print it. It's not even actually printed. That's just digital money. It's not real. They printed though 6 trillion, 3 trillion over the last few years. They doubled, by the way, the amount of dollars in circulation in the United States in 3 years. Who you recognize as inflation is hitting us hard. It's hitting us hard, baby. It's going to town. And yet we're still here. And yet we've made more money this year than we did last year. Well, 2022, we made more money than we made in 2021. In 2021, we made more money than we made in 2020. In 2020, we made more money than we made in 2019. There are so many people that I've spoken to that said, oh my God, COVID knocked me out. I ran a speaking business that made all of its money from live events. Live events got shut down for 2 years. How did I make more money during that time? I went back and I sharpened the saw. I went back and I looked at my business and I said, I need to get my skills tighter in an area that I've been lacking, in an area that I wasn't paying attention to, that now suddenly has been exposed to the marketplace as my only talent left that will make money. And that was speaking virtually. I had no exposure to the virtual arena, but I knew how to speak, but I didn't know how to speak on camera. And there, if you've never done both, there is a tremendous difference from being able to hold a person's attention via the virtual world compared to doing it on stage. Who here knows on stage in person, like it's really awkward to walk to the bathroom. Like, you know, the speaker's watching you the whole time. Here, it's just like turn camera off, disappear. Nobody knows what you're doing. Like you could like literally be at the grocery store on this call. I wouldn't know. By the way, if you are on the call and your camera is turned on, it's because you've paid me money at some point. You've joined into one of our programs. You are one of my business partners. You're somebody at a high level. You're a tech company, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're a real estate investor who's already a millionaire, somebody who has come through Alchemist Nation. By the way, we've built 24 millionaires over the last few years, not because we were good when we started, but because every year we sharpen the saw. Every year we sharpen our skills. Every year we tweak a little bit. We get a little better at this millionaire building process. We're on a mission to automate the process. Who here would like to automate themselves out of their own business as well? You got to sharpen the saw in order to do that. You've got to go more efficiently into the actions. One of the skills I had to step up on was my own personal speaking. I had to learn how to communicate better. Who here knows that you are the speaker in your business? You must learn how to communicate better as well. That's a skill to sharpen the saw on. What did I say to the client that didn't work out? What can I say next time? How do I sharpen the saw? How do you sharpen the saw? You got to get in front of more clients. The more often you're in front of them, the more you recognize what went wrong, what went right. Sometimes you have to disappear for a little while, document your process, test things out, beta test, go out and talk to clients you never expect to close, just to learn, just to see if you've got what it takes, just to sharpen those skills. Another strategy that we had to increase in order to take it into this next level in this COVID arena was we had to figure out how this whole Zoom thing works. What platform to use, right? What platform do you even, who remembers all this? Like not knowing what platform to use, like to talk to people virtually, right? We did a lot of stuff on Facebook. We were doing Facebook Lives. We're on Facebook Live right now. We were doing YouTube, but we weren't sure which one would actually reach our audience and serve them and get them to that next level. We're committed to building millionaires, which means deep relationships. So we needed a platform that allowed the deep relationships, allowed us to track each other and figure out what was going on, but we didn't have it. We didn't know which one. We had to go and sharpen the saw. We had to go and find mentors. I paid $10,000 to learn how to do these virtual calls. Who here has seen me do hands to the camera? Who's seen that? I paid money to learn that. Nobody else does that because they don't know, like that's an engagement factor. That's what we used to do live on stage. We used to, be like, I would just on stage, I could just throw my hand up and everybody else would throw their hand up if they like, it was just unspoken. Whereas in this arena, you have to say it and show it. And you also have to train people on how to do it. Who here has been trained at some point? Hands to the camera if that is you. So context had to be learned. I had to sharpen the skill. When we first started, I had no idea how to say it. And then who see me on stage at the 100 Millionaire Summit? Who see me speak on stage? I accidentally say hands to the camera on stage now. It became so ingrained in part of what we do. I got so good at it that it became part of something I accidentally do when I'm actually speaking live, which we didn't have to do for 2 years. Sharpening the saw goes even deeper than just your communication skills. It goes back to what you say, what you do in your business. Are you a service company? If you're a realtor or a real estate investor, you're a service company, believe it or not. Even though you're investing in a big asset, you're actually doing relationship stuff. You're doing customer service. Is the system with which you speak to your buyers, your sellers, or your tenants operating properly? How will you know? The only way to know is to sit back, be on the outside of it, and go and kind of look at it as an observer. Review what you think it should turn out like and see how it's actually turning out. To continue something that's not working is insanity. It's crazy. You've got to practice a little bit. Who here has practiced in the mirror, done your affirmations? Maybe you've spoken before you got out on stage. Before I get to here, I'm speaking constantly in the car on my way home to make sure that I've got this talk right. I'm practicing. I'm practicing during the week. I'm practicing during the day. I have multiple one-on-ones with people just to practice this millionaire building process, to keep going, to keep seeing what's worked. I interview hundreds. I've interviewed over 400 millionaires over the last 3 years to see what works, to document the process. That's sharpening the saw. That's going back and saying, look, I might not have all the answers. Do you know how many gurus out there? Who can take a guess? Let's just, we're not going to go with the number. It's too many. Who believes that there's a lot of gurus out there who are posting videos but have not reviewed their systems, have not gone back to check if it still works, have not like tested? They're just like, it worked for me. I got rich this way. You should do exactly the one thing that I did with no proof. They're not verifying. Don't do that in your business, right? As you're out there, this market is shifting. We cannot evaluate properties the same way we used to. We cannot talk to clients the same way we used to, right? We're no longer in a low interest market, although I'll compare, the interest rates are still lower than they were when I first started investing. So it doesn't bother me. But for many buyers, for many investors, this is difficult. Your underwriting has to change, right? We don't buy at 10 caps anymore. We got to buy at a 12 cap because the interest rate truly is 2% higher. So the return on investment is going to be lower. And if you're still doing numbers and saying, oh, I can make it work at an 8% cap or a 9% cap, you're going to hurt people, including yourself. And if you recognize the numbers have changed, the interest rates are different, right? Your cost of debt is not the same. So your cash flow will not be the same if you're going off of a metric that does not include debt. By the way, capitalization rates do not include debt as a metric. It's everything except for your financing. Hence, Cam, if you already knew that, multifamily investors know that. So why are we still buying based on the same metrics? It doesn't make any sense. So we got to sharpen the saw this year. Things have changed. Sellers' conversations have changed. The way we're working with them is different. Subject to keeping the mortgage in place and seller financing have become sexy topics. More sellers are now talking about, hey, I got a 4% interest rate on my mortgage. You might want to take that over. And so, if you've seen this in your negotiations as well, you're seeing it more often. We now have to negotiate and adjust our strategies to say, yeah, I will take on subject to. That's actually a great avenue for me. Or the wraparound mortgage. The wraparound mortgage is an existing subject to plus taking on a seller financing component. Who here loves the idea of a wraparound mortgage? It means no money down on your deal. Like, you don't even have to go to the bank. Absolutely, we love it, but we have to sharpen our skills on having those conversations because the sellers will be fought. I've had sellers tell me, I'll hold paper and you can take over my mortgage. I just want to get rid of this thing. In fact, I've been one of those sellers where I've said, hey, I'll refinance it. You can take over the LLC and I'll literally give you 10% seller finance or 15% seller finance because it makes me money. It gives me a better price of what I want, gets me out faster, and it gives me a good return. Who here knows that you got to practice those things before you go into the battle, right? You can't just go into negotiations cold, being like, well, maybe we should, I don't know. What do you think? Like, no, you got to go in there knowing how to say subject to. You got to know how to do a seller finance deal. You got to know how to combine the two and have that wraparound mortgage. Who's committed to practicing the scripts, memorizing how these things work, the functionality behind them. The only reason we can negotiate is because we understand how they work. If you don't understand how it works, you need to go back to the drawing board, right? Go back to the saw, go back to the blade and sharpen it a little bit. Practice. Have a conversation with somebody else. When I was a realtor and actively in the office, we used to do this thing where we'd sit there and like, I'd pretend to be a seller and then you'd be the agent and you'd be trying to convince me to sell my property. Hence, Cam, if you've heard of role playing before, has anybody heard of role playing? This is another form of sharpening the saw. It's another way of getting back to the basics of testing things out, seeing how you can improve yourself. So there's a couple of different arenas, and most of them do involve how we think or how we speak. In high leverage, I'm not trying to get you to make 40,000 a year. My goal here is to make 100,000 a year, or 7 figures, or get that net worth, or get that passive income of 120,000 a year, or $10,000 a month. That's my goal. So I can't be talking about hard work anymore. Hence, if you understand, it is all about communication. It is all about relationships at this level. Hard work doesn't work at this level in the game. It becomes building a team. It becomes building your partnerships, raising capital, finding people who can do the work for you, getting your property management, your contractors, your project managers in place. Passive income is going to be one of the goals that Ron and I start speaking about more this year. The 100 millionaires, this concept of building millionaires was a little bit brazen of me. It was me saying, well, this is how you get passive income. I just shot to it and said, well, this is the easiest way for me to get people passive income, financial freedom, $10,000 a month. Like this is the fastest, easiest path is if I just focus on this one goal, it gets the target that everybody else is looking for. Hands to camera, if you know, $1 million can get you financial freedom, quit your job, $10,000 passive income. Absolutely. It makes you an accredited investor so you get access to better deals. So that the $1 million was the big kahuna. But marketing wise, it scares people. When I say a millionaire or 100 million, yes, exactly, Richard. That's why I wrote the book. Broke to $250,000. The smaller chunk was easier for the mind to perceive, to think that first $250,000 is significantly easier. So we're going to be shifting a lot of our message, and a lot of my focus will be on passive streams of income this year. You're going to see me, like I'm already joining masterminds that are obsessed with passive income. These are high level players, net worths of 50 million, 100 million, $250,000. Some of them $1 billion, and we're shifting our focus on just passive streams of income so that we can help our investors and our community move into passive streams. Hands to camera, if it's okay if I sharpen the saw in that direction, would you be okay with that? Excellent. Fortunately, it doesn't stop what we've already mastered on building millionaires. We've already mastered the net worth build millionaires process. Now we're looking to tweak and improve on the passive income structures, because we've got a few that work for us. But what about you? What about your situation? There are some that don't necessarily involve money, that involve just time and structure. Then there are some that involve literally no work in the beginning. It just takes money. So the net worth and the knowledge factor are going to be very important. So we're sharpening the saw at Alchemist Nation. So let's give our team, all, Darina, Jen, Mark, Frank, Ron, Steven, all of my business partners. Let's give them a big round of applause. All of our mentors, all of our millionaires, Brian Mazzilli, Melanie, actually we got Jeremy on here. Jeremy's one of runs a platform that we're using. So many great people are behind this who are doing the research. They're sharpening the saw so we can sharpen the saw so that you can go out and get rich faster. I want you to do an exercise with me, because we do an exercise every week for the last 52 weeks. This is going to be no different. I want you to pull out a piece of paper and I want you to write down what is the one uncertainty in your business, or the one thing if you mastered it, your business would level up. Like I said, in 2019, I knew it was my speaking and that shift from virtual to in-person, from in-person to virtual. I knew that if I could figure that one thing out, then I would be able to level my game up. And in 2021, I knew when we were leading into the summit, I knew I had to increase, again, I had to go back to stage and I had to increase my conversion rate in a large room. And my conversion rate traditionally was 10%. I convert 10% of the room into buying a product. I was selling a $10,000 product. I had 100 people in the room. If I made 10,000, if I sold a 10,000 and I had a 10% conversion, that meant I was going to make 100,000. I had to shift my skills, and because I shifted my skills, I was able to get a conversion rate of 24% just by tweaking. And I've hired a coach. It cost me $32,000. Hire that coach. We worked together for about 6 months. And by making that one shift, it earned an extra $140,000. And so, Cam, if you understand, you may have a little tweak, just a little adjustment that you could do just a little bit better if you're in a highly leveraged position. This past year at the summit, our big focus was fill the room. I had to learn the tweak of how do I find more clients? How do I get more customers? How do I get more people into my circle, into my community, and my tribe? And so we focused on marketing. We focused on relationships. We focused on people, referrals, talking to other people. And we were able to put 200 people at the 100 Millionaire Summit. But what's interesting is I sharpened the saw on my speaking as well. And I sharpened the saw on the summit as well. We brought in even better speakers. Who here felt the summit this year was fantastic? It was by far one of the best events of the year. At the 100 Millionaire Summit, we converted 40% of the people in the room. There was 200 people. We converted 40% out of $10,000 product. Product didn't change. Actually, I'll be real. The product pimped out a little bit. We definitely made the product a little better. Hands camera mastery this year is insane. It's definitely like a next level crazy. Yeah, we do a lot in it. So we did improve the product, which helped with the conversion. This year, we're looking for 500 people at the 100 Millionaire Summit, and it's effortless because we spent so many years sharpening the saw. This year, we're building leaders. This year, we're helping leaders build their tribe, get their passive income. One of the easiest ways to get passive income is to surround yourself with 100 people who want what you got. Another way is to make 100 people $100 a month coming into you. Who here knows if you run a community of 100 people and their membership is $100 a month, you're making $10,000 passive income. All you gotta do is show up to your monthly event. Yeah, that one way to do it. We're having fun with it because that community is also your stream of income. As far as if you're a realtor and you're working with investors and you're running an investment community, guess what? you're going to be able to make a ton of money. If you're a wholesaler and you're running a landlord association, guess who you want in the room? You want those landlords to be in the room. So I want you to document, what is the one thing you could sharpen this year? What's the one skill you could sharpen to reach your goal of 10,000 passive income, legacy wealth for your family, that millionaire status, or just being able to quit your job or financial freedom? What is the one thing that you could do this year? And we got all year to do it. We don't have to sharpen the saw in this week. What I'm saying is sharpen the saw for an entire year, beast mode on one particular skill that will change your life, change your game at a higher level. Hands to the camera if you know what that is right now. You know what that one skill is. Write it down, get on a piece of paper. I want you to commit to whether you got to find a coach, whether you got to go to school, whether you got to get a book, whether you got to just wake up in the morning and go practice it for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I want you to commit to making that routine happen. Get yourself an accountability partner. Get somebody who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to hold you to the fire. Right? This is Alchemist Nation after all, right? We're alchemists. We're not afraid of the fire. We'll go in if it means we're coming out a little shinier on the other side, right? Alchemy is the transformation of one from a state of pain and ignorance to a state of bliss and abundance, bliss and awareness, a state of competition to a state of creation, helping others, a state of lack, insecurity, fear, not knowing, to a state of knowledge, being willing to give and share, and like I said, abundance. Alchemy is a transformation of oneself so you can transform others and pay it forward. Right? We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. The easiest way to do that is to help you get passive income. So we're sharpening the saw this year. What are you going to sharpen? Drop it in the chat if you know what you're going to be sharpening this year. What's your thing? Like I've said it often. You know, we figured out alchemy not on accident. It was very, very intentional. It was really about spending the time. Over 400 books. I spent over 150,000 on coaches, mentors, events, and countless thousands of hours in figuring out how to write these books, on the blogs, the articles. Alchemist Nation, we put $250,000 to build that thing for you. All right, that website, by the way, is 3 times the traffic of the National Real Estate Investors Association, which is a huge goal that we had. We wanted to beat the NREA. We love the NREA. We're a big part of it, and we absolutely love it. But for us as community leaders, we had to know that we were doing a better job than they were. Hands to camera if you recognize you got to outdo the people who are also serving your clients. Absolutely. So we set that goal. We launched the platform in December of 2021. Today, in 2023, we're now one of the top websites when it comes to real estate investing. We've got almost 1,900 users that are active users who are actively investing, who are actually doing deals together. And it's open, it's free. All the courses are free. Everything out there is available. Actually, I have a really cool feature that's coming out. It's called Homeworthy. We're beta testing it right now. All right, so 52 weeks of wealth. How are we going to sharpen the saw together? There's 4 things that I think are necessary, very, very necessary for success. The first is you must reach out to new people. You must reach out to new people. In the 21-day challenge, the recession-proof challenge, we do 10 people a day. Who here has been a part of the challenge knows exactly what I'm talking about. 10 people a day, 10 new people a day. This is not follow-ups with old people. Or, I mean, it could be follow-ups with people if you haven't talked to them in 6 months or a year. That could count. It could be your entire Facebook friends list, as Viridiana did in our challenge. You could be everybody you've not talked to, all those friends, all those fake friends you got on Facebook. You go back and message all them and just see if they're even real. And who would love to clean up their Facebook and have all those like non-users like gone? Like the people who are like, oh, I actually don't even like your shit. They're like, I don't know why we're friends. We send out messages and they remove themselves, or you end up getting, like, if they don't respond back to you in a week, why are we still friends? Hands care if you understand. It's time to let that go. So 10 people, reach out to 10 people a day. And the 21-day challenge, which starts on Monday, we will be doing this with you, holding you accountable. Who's already committed to this month's 21-day challenge? Already in it. Awesome. I cannot wait to see you in there. Stephen Beaver is going to be running avatars. We've got, I think, Dorina, can you reach out to Crystal and make sure she runs messaging and branding on day 2? I think I've got Amy doing the irresistible offer. So we're going to be diving into the second thing. Only 4 people get added to our database. Who here knows they need a database to be successful in business? A book of business, a group of people who know what you do, who like what you do, who have customers, potential customers. If you don't have a database, you don't have a business. You can't sell something without clients. Remember, wealth principle 33 is build your business, sell your business, and profit. All the rich people build their business and sell their businesses. A platform or a company is only worth the clients that are going to come back, or the clients that are subscribed, or the clients that are being used on the platform. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. If you don't have a database to track your customers, you can't sell your business. And so you understand how important a database is now. We recognize clients that pay, clients that would pay, clients that are of a certain type are valuable. In fact, we've proven it. There are certain clients that definitely would be interested in buying a real estate brokerage, but most people don't want to buy a real estate agency. The only reason somebody would buy a real estate agency is it for the clients themselves, not because they're an agent. Because agents don't buy other agencies. Hence, Cam, if you know that to be true, agents don't have money anyway, right? Kidding. Unless they're real estate investors. Agents who are real estate investors do very well because of the investments, not because of the agency. So agents, what do you do when you sell your business? You sell it to an attorney, because an attorney also has their broker's license, but can actually do the closings. Who you recognize as the list is really important to an attorney, because they haven't had the time to do all that marketing. Me and Mike, we own Alchemist Title. We understand the value of a list. We understand the value of a database. So number two, so after you reach out to 10 people, number one, reach out to 10 people every day for 21 days. This is the challenge. You reach out to 10 people every day for 21 days. It's going to get you 210 new contacts, refreshed contacts. Only 4 go into your database daily. Only 4, because 1/3 are going to love you no matter what. 1/3 are going to hate you no matter what. And 1/3 are not going to care about you no matter what. This is sharpening the saw. This is us going back and saying, let's see who we can serve, and just take the 4 from that day who said, yes, I like you. Yes, I like your product. Oh my God, I was thinking about doing what you sell, whether it's buy a house, build, a piece of real estate. If you're a contractor, if you're an agent, if you're an investor, I was thinking about selling my property, right? Those are the people that you want to work with. Those are your ideal clients. Those 4 go into the database. Number 3, we make a post every day on social media where it can be seen. I just got a reward from Facebook today. Who'd like to know what that award was? Facebook sent me an award. They were like, here you go. Congratulations. 45 days of nonstop activity. And this is what they told me. Because you've been nonstop active for 45 days, we have put you in front of more people, which is not the sort of thing Facebook does. Now, being active on Facebook 45 days does not mean I was watching and scrolling. I was not a consumer. I was a creator. For 45 days, I created 3 types of content every single day. That was stories, reels, posts. Every single day, one of those pieces of content came out. I do have to thank my amazing team for making that happen. So let's give Feli and Jem a big round of applause for making sure the content comes out, and Darina for making sure that, those girls are always, operating and firing on all cylinders. Because of their consistency, Facebook has shown us more attention, more people. When you make a post a day, I don't want you just to do it on your personal profile. Here's why. Nobody looks at your shit anyway. I want you to go put it out in a group that has your clients in it, a group that has the people that you want to hang with. Right? For us, it's real estate investors. We want to serve real estate investors. How do we do that? We hang with real estate agents and we show them how to serve real estate investors. That's can't you understand, but it's so we have high leverage. We hang out with 2 groups of people, the leaders, and then we hang out with the people who they serve. For you, it may be different. If you're looking for more deals, you need to hang out with people who have deals. If you're looking for more capital, you need to hang out with people who hang out with people who have capital. Financial planners are a great resource for people who have money. People who run the yacht club are another great resource for people who know the people who have the money. The people who run the golf course, the bartenders at the country club, they know the people who have the money. Hence, if you're understanding leverage, those are the places you spend your time if you're out of capital. If you want to spend your time with rich people and become a rich person, you should spend time with rich people. Focus on the best, surround yourself with the best, and you will become the best. Focus on money, surround yourself with people who have money, and then you will be one of those people who have money. Hence, we know this is a simple formula. It's like, hey, you're broke, make new friends. All right. Step 4, we read a book a week, but in the challenge over the next 21 days, it will not just be the 52 Weeks of Wealth. It will be additional different books. Who here would like to know the 3 books that I suggest everybody read if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a 6-figure earner, if you want to crush it in sales, if you want to build a community, a tribe? Book number 1's not going to surprise you, and I'll be offended if you don't go and read it this week with us. Book number 1 is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I don't say it lightly, and you shouldn't listen to it lightly. Listen to it again this week. I listen to that book often. Every time we do the challenge, I go and I listen to it again. And I've done the challenge 7 times in the last 7 months. Hence, if you understand, this is an important book. Because if you don't know how to win friends and influence people, then you won't be able to change your friends. You'll be stuck with the brokers you've been spending all your time with. And as much as we love them, which is why we clearly surround ourselves with them, who here is committed to changing their lives? So then you might want to learn the art of how to win friends and influence people. And you might just want to aim at an audience that has what you want. Please, God, if you want to be in great shape, hang out with the people in great shape. If you want to be married for 20 years, 50 years, go hang out with people who are married for 20, 50 years. Learn how they did it. If you want to get rich, go and hang out with people who are not just rich today, but have been rich for decades, who have held onto it, who have great reputations, because you can make money, but being able to keep money and be able to create impact, that is a different story. Find the people who've done it and spend your time around those people. Hence, care if you're understanding the importance of your relationships. Focus on what you get. All right, so book number 2 is Endless Referrals by my personal friend, Bob Berg. He also wrote the book, so the Go-Giver series. So Bob Berg is a fantastic author, but when he wrote this book, Endless Referrals, it was a game changer for me. Because if you know how to win friends and influence people, and then get your friends to give you endless referrals, your business explodes. You literally have what it takes to just create a chain reaction, a contagious explosion of your business. Hands to the camera if you understand the science behind a virus. It gets into the host, and then it spreads to the next host, next host, next host. Remember the pandemic? A global freaking disease that started somewhere in a bat in China. Spread to the entire world, not just the country, not just Italy, the entire world, because of the contagious factor. Imagine if your business had that same contagion, had that same concept of as soon as it touches, it multiplies. That's what Endless Referrals does for you. So we're going to read that book together on week 2. You don't read them all on week 1. Hence the camera, if you understand the challenge is a powerful tool. It's 21 days, because it takes 21 days to build habits. 21 days together with me and the other coaches in the room, and we're going to just drive through for 21 days. We're going to crush it. This is sharpening the saw, so the entire year you can move forward with power. Hence, Cam, if you're committed to hitting your goals this year and you need some sort of unstoppable force to make it happen, because in the past you have failed yourself at some level. Who here has let themselves down before? Not the only one, right? This challenge makes you unstoppable because it does the exact high leverage things that are necessary. Last book is Meet 100 People by Pat Headley. Pat Headley wrote the science, the idea, the concept of all you need is 100 people, and here's how you meet them. Here's how you connect with them. So because you already know once you connect, you can win them over as friends, and then you can get endless referrals. Hence, Cam, if you understand now, the science is 3 books. It is 3 steps. This is the mastery. Like, this is how you become recession-proof. That's why we called it the 21-day recession-proof challenge. And if you're interested in joining, it is $97. I'm not going to take a discount to anybody who says, oh, well, I don't have it right now, because if you don't have $97, I can't help you. You've got bigger problems. Hence, Cam, if you understand, if you don't have $97 to invest in yourself, you're not ready to make money. Money's been a challenge for you, so much so that you just won't be able to apply this at some level. Look, tell me you don't like my hair. Tell me you like this mustache. Don't tell me you ain't got $97. Darina, what is the link? Can we drop that in the chat? It's challenge.alchemistnation.com. While she's dropping that in there, while you're signing up, the challenge starts Monday at 1 p.m.